You're on mute, Niamat sahib.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is a beautiful kalam. Giryaye ishq-e yar, weeping in the beloved's love. Giryaye ishq-e yar, yaad aaye. Giryaye ishq-e yar, yaad aaye. وہ وصل کی وہ بہار یاد آئے، گریہ عشق یار یاد آئے، شہ سوارے برا کے بر کے جہان، شہ سوارے برا کے بر کے جہان، یا خدا بار بار یاد آئے، یا خدا بار بار یاد آئے، گریہ عشق یار یاد آئے، وہ جہان حسین نور خیال، وہ جہان حسین نور خیال، ہر سحرگاہ ہزار یاد آئے، گریہ عشق یار یاد آئے، علم کی ذوالفقار حاصل ہو، علم کی ذوالفقار حاصل ہو، صاحب ذوالفقار یاد آئے، صاحب ذوالفقار یاد آئے، گریہ عشق یار یاد آئے، تیری فرقت سے بے قرار ہے نصیر، تیری فرقت سے بے قرار ہے نصیر، تجھ کو یہ بے قرار یاد آئے، تجھ کو یہ بے قرار یاد آئے، گریہ عشق یار یاد آئے. This is a beautiful kalam in book Guldasta-e-Irfan, Weeping in Beloved's Love. We are talking about, missing Maulana Hazrat Imam and how can we, shed tears. Weeping in Beloved's love, I remember. That spring of union, I remember. Imagine if Maula has come to give us Didar, how amazing that experience is, and sometimes we sit and recall that, right? The valiant rider of Burak, of the world's lightning, O God, over and over I remember. And then I skip to the last two verses. May you attain the Zulfikar of knowledge, the Lord of Zulfikar, I remember. Our Mawla is the Lord of the Zulfikar. And this is so beautiful. Nasir is restless in your separation. The restless one, may you remember. And those who understand Urdu, they'll really enjoy the way this verse has been written. That it's, Allama Sahib says, Teri furqat se beqarar nasi, that in your separation, I am truly restless. Tujhko ye beqarar yaad aaye. So, in poetry, you can say to, Maula Bapa, that how beautifully that we remember you, but may you be remembering me as well, right? How amazing and beautiful the way of verses and the writing. It's so amazing. Expressing our love for our Imam. telling him that Mawla, we miss you. Bless us with your didar. Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Shukran lillah, alhamdulillah. So we are back to our Farman number 40, August 31st, 1899. Let us recite the salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. જે મોમિન હશે તે મસ્તાના સી જેવો હશે તેને કાંઈ પણ ધ્રાસતી નથી તેનો રસ્તો સીધો અને આસાન છે આવા મોમિન ગુજરી જાય તેને કાંઈ પરવા નથી તે આ દુનિયામાંથી છૂટ્યા કે આરામથી ચાલ્યા જશે હકીકતી મોમિનને દુનિયામાં ફાયદો નથી દુનિયામાં ખુશી નથી અમે પોતે દુનિયામાં છીએ તે કેદખાનામાં છીએ એમ સમજીએ છીએ મોમિન વાસ્તે મરવા બાદ જન્નત છે. So we had discussed this, that Maula is explaining that how when we are in this world it is as if we are in a cage, in a prison, and the real life is after, the life of hereafter. And then Maula says that Momin, when he leaves this physical body, for them there is no fear because they know that in the hereafter they are with Imam. And for Momin, when they die, there is Jannat for them. However, in other Farman, Mullah has said that Jannat is also like a prison. Again, when Imam gives us that Hidayat, here he says that for Momin there is a Jannat, and then in other Farman, in Kalam-i Imam-i Mubin only, he says elsewhere that Jannat is also a prison. So remember, Imam is guiding us about darjat. Jannat is not just one level. There are levels within Jannat. Remember, our talimat is in darjat. We have to understand that whenever we think of one concrete concept, there are very many tawilat within one concept. There are very many darjat within one learning, one concept. So we always have to remember, and there is no contradiction. So do not think that here Imam says that we need to be, for Momin, he has to go to Jannat. In other Farman, he says Jannat is Qaid too. So again, it's an invitation for us to think that what is Jannat? What does it mean to be in Jannat? And then how many darajat are within the Jannat? So for us, the invitation is that you have to elevate your soul through knowledge, and you progress step by step. So again, we realize when Imam says Hakikati Momin, there are Momin, very many Momins, but Hakikati Momins are those who are constantly realizing that they are progressing, they are on the path of progression, and they continue to walk further, they continue to walk upstairs, right? They do not stay at one place. If one settles, if one says, oh, I have reached, or I am reached my knowledge level or my progress level, then we are not understanding the dynamism which we have in our tariqah. Constantly there is evolution in tawilat, in understanding. So a Momin Salik is the one who always is learning and growing constantly. If somebody alludes to say that they know it all and they can answer all the question and they got it all, then do know that it is not a right understanding in our tariqah. Because a Momin Salik is the one who constantly continues to grow and learn. Even Allama Sahib, who we know so well, that he had gone through his Qiyamah, his resurrection, but he was always willing to learn and grow. That is the habit of a Momin who always is desiring to learn and grow and walk further. Because that is the basis of our talimat, that our talimat is in darjat, and when we constantly have that attitude, that mindset, then we will never get tired of learning or looking for an end. It is not about the end, it is about the journey, it is about the process, that you continue to grow further and further. દુનિયામાં મોતથી માણસો ડરે છે કે દુનિયામાં સર્વે સારા કામ કર્યા નથી માટે મરીને ખુદાને શું જવાબ આપીશ? તે વિચાર કરશે કે હવે મને કોઈ કામ આવશે નહીં. હું બીમાર છું અને પડી રહ્યો છું. તે ડરે છે કે આગળ જવાબ આપી શકશે કે નહીં. Again, Imam is guiding us that in physical world, there are people, worldly people who fear death, because they've not done good deeds in the physical world, and now the time of dying has come near. Now they're scared. What will they reply to Mola? How will they be able to, when their accounts will be open, how will they defend themselves? They have not done any good deeds. Now they are sick and they are about to die, and there is no one who is helping. When death comes, one has to go alone. But in the physical world, how many times we say, oh, I am alone, I cannot do this, I cannot be in this knowledge, I am all alone in my family doing this, learning this, nobody understands this. When we die, nobody is going to come with us. So, in other words, Imam is giving us hidayat that this journey is very much your own journey. You are alone on this path because it is about you and your soul and your journey. Yes, we all love our families, our friends to be on this path, so we guide them, we share with them. But remember, ultimately, it is about us individually. It is a harsh reality that it is everybody's responsibility to take care of their own soul. In the physical world, we do that, we accept that. If a family member, even a child who gets hungry, he will look for a food and he'll find something to eat. Similarly, everybody in the home will know where the kitchen is, fridge is, pantry is, and they'll go and eat something because they're hungry. If they are in realization of their hunger for their soul, they will seek the food. So the job we do as friends or family to make others realize of this hunger, of presence of the soul, and that is it. Because this journey is very much individual journey. So this individual Imam is giving example that they are now sick and they are worried. Nobody is going to come with them, and that is why they are scared. Whereas Imam already told us that those who are Momin, who are Hakikati Momin, they are never scared of death. They are actually ready to go any day and every day. They're waiting to die because they know that it is the day of Eid, it is the day of merging with Imam. દુનિયામાં તમારા વકીલ હોય અને તમારું હિસાબ ખાઈ ગયો હોય, તે હિસાબ આપતી વેળા ડરે છે કે મેં ચોરી કરી છે, તે અગડી પડી જશે. આવા વિચારો કરીને તે ડરે છે. જ્યારે તમારું મોતનો વખત આવશે ત્યારે તમારી પાસેથી દુનિયાના કામનો હિસાબ લેવામાં આવશે. તેના વાસ્તે તમે ડરશો. ત્યારે તમે સમજશો કે તમારા જીવે હિસાબમાં દગો દીધો છે. તેથી તમે મોતથી ડરશો કે કેવી રીતે હિસાબ આપશો. Again, Imam is using an example that in the world, if you have a lawyer, right? If you are fighting for a case and you have a lawyer and or accountant, like this example, it's like you have a business and you have an accountant who's keeping all the accounts of your money. But then when you are asking them to give the accounts, this accountant is actually scared. Why? Because he has stolen the money. So Imam is giving this example, right? That in this world, if you were to have a lawyer or accountant who keeps your track of your money, and when you want the accounts, he's scared because he has stolen the money. Exactly in the same way, we are those who have come to this world, given bayah to Imam, that we have submitted tan man dhan, everything to you, Mawla. And by saying that by doing that bayya, by submitting ourselves to our Imam, we are saying that we will be mindful, we will be loyal to you, we will take care of the accounts, meaning how we are using this breath which are given to us in this world. We will be mindful and we will be take care of the accounts. And when the accounts will be asked, if there is nothing stolen, there will be no fear. But in opposed to that, if the accountant has stolen the money, meaning we have used our breaths to live in this world for our own pleasure and worldly temporary fun, not remembering the Mola, how are we going to give our accounts to Imam? How are we going to show our face? And therefore there'll be fear. So Imam is explaining that why one would fear at the time of the death. A mu'min is very peaceful, mu'min is not in fear. Mu'min is calm and happy and grateful. That is the difference. So Imam is saying that think about it, that when your time of death will come, how are you going to be ready with your accounts? If you have not been mindful, then of course you'll fear. So Imam continues to actually emphasize that you will be in fear if you have not taken care of your accounts, your life, your responsibilities. And when we, talk about bayya, yes, we were babies and our parents took us and gave, bayya on our behalf, and we have become who we are. Some of the youths have talked to me, young adults, that we did not know our bayat was done by our parents, but they did not take us to Jamaat Khana. We don't know anything about Ismaili Tariqa, or how do we obey Imam, because we don't understand things. It was our parents' promise, not ours. So remember, I would take this example that it was your parents who took you to the school. It was your parents who helped you to read and study and probably forced you to go and study. Today, when you earn money, every penny you are earning, it is all because of the hard work of your parents. So you should not keep any money to yourself, but give it to your parents. Can you do that? And they said, no, we can't. So I said, the answer would be that if your parents took the bayya, who is responsible to take care of that bayya? Ultimately, the soul is yours. So sometimes young adults who have not been made to think, and they have this attitude of righteousness, we talked about last time as well, that it is not our responsibility. So there are ways and means to talk to them, to tell them how it is your responsibility. Parents did what they did. And today if you go to Jamaat Khana and if you say, Hayyu Zinda, you hear in Jamaat Khana, Hay Zinda, but the right pronunciation is Hayyu Zinda. When you say that he is living, ever living, Hayyu Zinda, he is present. That is actually in a way renewal of your bayya when you enter into Jamaat Khana. When you say your dua, in dua you are reminded of your bayya. As an adult, it is now your responsibility to learn about your tariqah. Again, it all depends, in the family surroundings, how we have made our children to ask questions. Why am I doing what am I doing? When they'll ask the questions, then they will find the answers. It is extremely important to have our children, ask questions, have inquisitive mind, because if there are questions, they'll seek answers. So remember that bayat is renewed and we are responsible for our own soul. મોમિન વાસ્તે દુનિયામાં કાંઈ નથી સમજો અને અક્કલવાળા મોમિન હોય તેના માટે દુનિયા જહન્નમ છે. પણ જે ગધેડો હેવાન છે તે સમજે છે કે ખાવું, ફરવું, બેસવું અને બચ્ચાઓની શાદી કરવું તેને કાંઈ અક્કલ નથી. Imam is speaking in very plain, clear words. Imam is teaching that for Mu'min, this world is not a place of residence. It's not a place of happiness. For a moment, there is nothing in this world but a means to earn. A means to earn. Remember that Gnan verse I normally quote? Hi juk haat paat bazar kari jaan. In this Gnan, he says, teaches us that in this world, think of it as you are in a mall or in a place of vendors, and you are buying and exchanging and earning. Every relation, every work, physical job or business, everywhere you are, it is a ways and means to earn. That is what for Momin this world means. Earn for what? Physical earning? No, it is the spiritual earning. Those who are without intellect. So Momin uses intellect to earn from this world, but then there are those who don't think of life with intellect. They just follow through. What do? Um, they enjoy eating different food, going here and there, spending fun time, kitty parties, or fun parties, have children, get married, and then think about getting children married, and that is it. They're busy in thinking and living the physical life. Why are they like that? Because they don't have intellect. Now, someone can counter argue and say that if they did not have intellect, how did they live this life in the world? So they do have intellect, but they have used their intellect only for the worldly benefit, for the worldly gain. Completely an example of those who are stealing money. Remember, Mola gave us the example earlier that if you have an accountant and he's constantly stealing, he'll be scared. So you don't think of dying, you don't think of your soul, and you're busy in your life until you fall sick. It is end time, and now you're scared. Oh, I have to give Hisab Kitab, but I didn't do anything. So imagine, Imam is very plainly, in very simple words, is teaching us that if we live this worldly life of getting married, having children, getting them married, now grandkids, and this is not the purpose of life. This is not the purpose of life. Does that mean that Momin should leave the world? Because Imam is saying that for Momin, this world is nothing. It is like a Jahannam, it is like hell. Remember, we need to understand Imam's Farman. Imam is teaching us with the allegory of hell, saying that in the hell there is only pain and sorrow. Only pain and sorrow. A person who is like a donkey, who lives like an animal, meaning only following the animalistic desires. If you look at the animals, babies are born and then they go after a mate, they have children. That is their life. If a human lives life like that, find food for the family and then die, that is not a human living life. It is as if a donkey or an animal is living life. That is not the life of a human being, a rational soul. So we have to understand what Imam is teaching us through example of hell, meaning that this world itself can be a paradise for a moment and a hell for a person who is living in this life like an animal, only following the carnal desire, living the life in the flow of just changing the milestones. Now you're grown, so you should get married. Now you're married, you should have children. Now you have children. Now that is it. There's nothing else in the life. These people are living life without intellect. They use their intellect only for the worldly benefits, and that is why they are labeled as animal. Janwar Numa Insan. Like they are humans, but they are like animals. They are not human. અગર મોમિન અક્કલવાળો હશે અને વિચાર કરશે તો તેને દુનિયા જહન્નમ જેવી લાગશે. If a Momin truly sees with intellect this world, then distance yourself and look at what is going around the world, in family, around you, friends, family. It is all pain and sorrow. There is nothing else. Today, this is the problem, tomorrow, that is the problem. Constantly new issues are coming in. There is no peace in the life. But for a moment, it is only peace. How come they both live in the same world, but they only, their experience is completely different? Why is that distinction? It is only because they use their intellect to learn about the talim of Imam. મોમિનની નિશાની એ છે કે તે સમજે છે કે ખુદાવંદ તાલાની નજીક જાઉં અને ખુદાવંદને નજીક બનાવું. Now Imam teaches us that Momin is the one. The identification of a Momin is that he's always thinking that how do I get close to my Mawla, my Lord? How do I get close to him? That is his constant thought. Therefore, his actions or her actions are according to that thought. They live the worldly life, their work, their business, their jobs are ibadat. They're taking care of children, their family, it is ibadat. So they're living worldly life, taking care of all responsibilities, but they're constantly doing ibadat. Because for Momin lives with an intention. And with intention, every work of a Momin becomes ibadat. So can you imagine, we live in the same place, it could be same family, one person lives in a peace, always in paradise, enjoying the bounties of Mawla, another person is living in hell. Why? Because of the choices being made. It depends on choices you make, because we all have free will to make choices. And this Farman, when we study like this, we understand that it is all about us as an individual and our choices we make. રૂ બદનમાં છે તે કેદખાનામાં છે. મોમિનને વાજબ છે કે કેદખાનામાંથી રૂને કાઢીને સારી જગ્યામાં રાખે. રૂ જ્યાં સુધી બદનમાં છે ત્યાં સુધી કેદમાં છે. તે જોવામાં આવશે નહીં. રૂ બદનમાં છે ત્યાં સુધી તે કાંઈ પણ જોઈ શકશે નહીં. જ્યારે બદનમાંથી નીકળશે ત્યારે સર્વે જગ્યાઓ જોશે. જ્યાં સુધી બદનમાં છે ત્યાં સુધી આગળ પાછળ આજુ બાજુ કાંઈ પણ જોઈ શકશે નહીં. મોમિનને એ ખ્યાલ જોઈએ કે કેદખાનામાંથી નિકળી જાઉં તો બહેતર છે. Very, very powerful guidance, right? And there are actually very many concepts, so I hope that we can do justice to it. Ru badanma che te kedkhanama che. If the soul is imprisoned in the body, it is as if it is in the prison, right? It is caged. Mola says it is incumbent on Momin, compulsory on Momin, to get your soul out from this prison and keep it in a good place. Now, if Mola says that after dying, that would have been very simple and easy to understand. But Mola is not saying that. Mola is saying while we are living, our soul is imprisoned in our body. And Imam is guiding us that if you're a Momin, take your soul out and keep it in a good place. Remember earlier Imam is saying when you're following the animalistic soul, carnal soul, one is like Havan and they are living in a bad place. Now Imam is saying, for a moment, take your soul out and keep it in a good place. When Imam says like that, it is his hukum, number one. Number two, it is possible for us to do that. Imam is not, saying something which is impossible. He's not telling us impossible mission. He's actually guiding, telling us what we can do, what is possible, what is in our hands to achieve. Imam's guidance, number one is command, hukum. Second is to inform us, to guide us that you are capable of doing this if you were to do so. Imam's Farman is not to tell us, what we, like giving us impossible mission. Sometimes, when you read Farman and you don't understand the meaning, the Tawili understanding, One may think that, what Imam says, I don't see it in me. I am very weak. I cannot see or I cannot do these things. One is humility, another is the potential. So Momin, Imam has already told us that what is the sign of Momin. Momin's nishani is that he always wants to get close to Imam. In order to get close, it is compulsory for a Momin to work in such a way to get the soul out and keep it in a good place. Now, I can make it very simple for you to understand this concept, but let me tell you, this is a very in-depth concept given in Quran actually. Imam is actually teaching us about Quran, believe it or not. Constantly he's guiding us about kalimat which are given in Quran. In other words, it's an invitation to go into in-depth study of Quranic tawili meaning. Not tanzil, I'm not telling us to study Arabic language as per se, but understand the meaning, the tawilat which is in Quran. And when we do that, then we'll understand this Farman in a better way. So, keeping it simple, when Imam says that remove your soul from your body and keep it at a good place. We just talked about an example that in one family, a moment lives in a peace as if this moment is in paradise. In one way, we can say that because of this knowledge, because of the ibadat of Isma Azam, they have found peace in their being and they are happy in what they are doing and feeling. They're living in the same family under the same roof, but they sleep with peace. They wake up with peace with Imam's name in their heart. And then the other person is living life as if they are living in hell. Constantly pain, trials and tribulations and sorrows and whatnot, living very worldly life. So it is not very far for us to go and understand Imam's Farman. This moment, because of the knowledge and ibadat and zikr, they have understood and they are very happy. Their soul has found peace. They are not rushing and running after the world because they've made their life simple and easy. So we realize that how when Imam says that moment has to take their soul out, so this moment with the knowledge, they are able to keep their life simple and peaceful, as if they have taken their soul out and they are keeping it somewhere very peaceful. Outside, the life is surrounded with issues and trials and tribulations, but this moment is in peace. That my Mola is with me and I know that He's taking care of me. Everything which is happening, it is good for me. Whereas if you ask the next person, they'll say, oh my God, I'm going through this and that and our family is such a trouble. But moment will be in the peace. So that is first understanding, and I hope that you all are with me in understanding that. Now let's talk about second level. When Imam says that get your soul out, and even Imam's Farmans, Imam has given Hidayat that Momin cannot meet Imam until the soul is in the body. Imam has talked about that we need Nurani Badan. In Betul Khayal Farman, Imam has said that when you sit in Isma Azam Ibadat, Nurani time, sit as if you have died. Sit as if you have died. Now, what does death means? Death means that our soul is out of the body. So he's teaching us, telling us that in Ibadat, die with that name. Even for a second or a minute, get your soul out. Meaning, if we are able to do zikr by meeting all the conditions. Remember when we say that Isme Azam Ibadat is not that simple, just yali, 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 yali. It actually depends what we've been doing the whole day, how we've been living our life. If we abide by the conditions, it is very much possible that during Ibadat, our soul can come out. And we can experience that and we can feel that. Another level. There is a concept of the word I said, Nurani Badan. In good Urdu language, Persian, we have the word Jussai Ibdaya. In English, we may call it subtle body. Jism Latif. In Urdu is Jism Latif. Jusai Abdaya is, I think, Persian. And in English we say subtle body. You know, we do know that in the journey of knowledge that we have not come to this world but our shadow. Maulan Rumi says, Ma'amadanistam en sayamas. I have not come to this world but my shadow. It is that drop of the soul which is in us from that universal soul. When Imam says that a moment, should take out their soul, meaning during our lifetime we are able to remove our soul and be one with the universal soul, travel and come back, meet and come back. મોમીની નિશાની એ છે કે તે સમજે છે કે ખુદાવંદ તાલાને નજદીક જાઓ અને ખુદાવંદને નજદીક બનાવો. If you're seeking closeness, how are you going to get closeness? So word closeness also has darjat. So first we talked about knowledge, zikr, all those things which we normally talk about. But I'm telling you today at a higher level because Imam is guiding us here. That soul, until it is in the body, it is like in the prison. So we have to have that experience, desire to have that experience to remove the soul and experience that body. Another body, the real body. This is not real body. I hope you know that, right? This is from dust and it will go to dust. All the, the way, human body biodegrades, right? All the worms and whatnot will be eating our flesh, which we are taking care of it so beautifully. It will be eaten away. This has come from dust and will go to dust. But there is a real body, true body, Jism Latif. That is the body we are seeking. And that body has the capability to fly and be one with the Imam during lifetime. And that's what Imam is guiding us. That when a moment is in the prison in the body, they are not happy. They want their soul to come out. And they are capable, we are capable of doing that. જ્યારે બદનમાંથી નીકળે છે ત્યારે સર્વે જગ્યા જોશે. Now, another concept. I'm telling you, Kalam-i Imam-i Mubin, sometimes I feel, when I'm reading this, I feel that I'm reading it for the first time with you all who are truly interested, to come and join early in the morning. But this is amazing what Imam is saying here. If we read it carefully, Imam says that when the soul comes out of the body, then that soul, that Jism Latif, is able to see agar, ahead, behind me, right side, left side, all directions. Now that soul can see. Now pause and think for a moment. Right now, are you able to see it in your front, in your back, on your side? You are. Physically, you are. Why Imam is saying that the soul has to come out and see what is in front of me, what is behind me, what is right side, left side. How will it be different? If I am here physically, my soul is in here and I'm able to see it. But when Imam says there is meaning, higher meaning, what would that be? We need to think and reflect. Every word of Imam is full of talimat and tabilat. And remember, if I understand this, I am telling you, honestly sharing it with you, if I understand it, it is because of the Quranic tabilat. Otherwise, I have read these faramins at my young life. I didn't understand it until I studied the Quran. So there are very many tawilat, but I'm looking at the watch and I have Quranic verses. So I'm going to tell you this one as well, inshallah. So let me share my other screen. So I know we are curious about what I am saying about front, back. So let me open that verse first. So this is one of the understanding. This is Surah Hud 11, verse 7, 11 by 7. And he says in Quran, and it is he who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. And we have talked about these 6 days in our different sessions. And I hope that all of you know about it. If you do not, please ask Karim Sahib. They will give you the lecture so you know what is the meaning of the 6 days. Heavens and earth, 6 days. 6 days are actually talking about 6 natik. Hazrat Adam alayhi salam, Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, and Prophet Muhammad. 6 days of Allah. 6 days actually are, the tawil of this is 6 natik. And if you read the Pir Nasir Khusro's book, Wajeddin, his Talimat, he says that Hazrat, he talks about every natik coming from a direction. For example, Hazrat Adam is coming from front. Hazrat Noah is coming from your right side. Hazrat is, so I'm just telling you directions, but there are specific direction. Pir Nasir Khusro says Hazrat Isa alayhi salam is coming from your above. All directions are actually 6 direction are referring to the talimat of the natik. So when Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah says, when the soul will come out, we'll be able to see in front, behind, right side, left side, it is actually alluding to the talimat of other natikan. How can we, physically, being in the body, understand that? When we are reading this Farman, the first dawat is seek knowledge. And that knowledge will tell you that there were 6 days, 6 direction. Seek knowledge so you get nur from your 6 direction. Another understanding, another connection is with dua nur. We seek light from every direction. And if you have listened to the lectures of Nachis of dua nur, you would know that we have talked about it, that how the light comes from the front, from the right side, left side, behind. It is all to do with the talimat of our natikan. All these books or talimat or these natiks have been endorsed in Quran. When we learn Quranic talimat, when we understand Quranic talimat, it is as if first at a physical level, through the eyes of knowledge, ilmul yaqeen, you are able to see in your front, you are able to see in your back, right side, left side. And then you will seek light as well, because you are able to see at ilmul yaqeen. But in the Farman, Imam is saying, now you get that knowledge, understanding at ainul yaqeen. Bring your soul out. So reflect on that, because we are going to inshallah start with that same paragraph. Let me quickly review, because we had talked about these verses in these points in the last class, and I had said that I will show you the verses which we are referring to, because it is all from Quran. Believe me, when you study Farman, you should be able to write references in your Farman book, which reference Imam is talking about. But for that, you have to study the Quran and its tawilat to understand the Farman and be able to write down the Quranic verses. And that's the journey here we are taking, to understand Imam's Faramin in the light of Quranic talimat, hadith, ginan, books of our Buzurgwarideen. So it's a humble attempt to do that. So this is Quranic verse 29 by 57. It says, Kullu nafsin zaikatul maut. All the souls will taste death. Every soul will taste death. Hukum of Imam is to taste it during our physical lifetime. Then to us you will be returned. So everybody has to go. Tarjaun, ruju se jo word nikla hai, lautna hai, return. Everybody has to go back to him. Either they live very animalistic life, following the carnal soul, or they become, everybody has to go to him. Every soul will taste the death. The difference is, Mominin will desire to taste it during the lifetime. And that is what the Hidayat Imam is giving in the Farman. Then the second verse we are referring to is 53 by 32. And again, just referring to the last one, فَلَا تَزَكُّوا أَنفَسَكُمْ هُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنِ اتَّقَى. And the last line here. So, do not claim yourselves to be pure. Remember we talked about being self-righteous? So, those who have this self-righteousness, what I say is right, it is only my way, and I am right, it is the self-righteousness attitude. So, do not claim yourselves to be pure. He is most knowing who fears him. A muttaqi, a moment who has taqwa, he is the one who is most knowing. Do not claim yourself to be pure. So who is the most muttaqi for us? Who has taqwa? Our paygambars and our imams. We follow them, right? Therefore, ascribe not purity unto yourselves. Victor says, do not be saying that you are pure. Self-righteous attitude. I know it all. So if you look at, different translation, you will see, do not consider yourself cleansed. He knows best him who is pious. It is Imam who is Pak or Pakiza. And we seek his closeness to become pure. And he is so humble being the Imam. How can we say, oh, I am this and that and I know so much? Right? So we have to think, whenever we talk with that kind of attitude, we have to be very careful or think. Don't use the words, but we are thinking, we are sinning. So we have to be very careful, follow the Hidayat. And the last verse I have for you is 49 by 12. Because somebody asked that where is the backbiting? Because we were talking about zana and backbiting. Mullah says that if you think of, in this, being moral in this society, if we were to find out about illicit sexual relations, people will, gossip about it as if, oh, they've sinned. But Imam teaches that when you backbite, it is as if you are having illicit sexual relations. And then Quran, look at what Quran says. This is 49 by 12. O you who have believed, avoid much assumption. Backbiting mostly is based on assumption. People told you something you have not verified and you are gossiping, right? Indeed, some assumption is sin, and you do not spy or backbite each other. Would one of you like to eat the flesh of his brother when dead? If you are backbiting, talking about others behind their back, it is as if murde bhai ka gosht khana. Even these disgusts us, right? Even the think of it, it's abhor us. But can you imagine that Quran says that when we backbite, this is what we are doing? You would detest it. Of course we would detest it. Allah is right in saying that, right? So he says, fear Allah. Indeed, Allah is accepting of repentance and merciful. So we seek his forgiveness because we are not supposed to backbite anybody. Pictol says, no, I don't want to read Pictol because his English sometimes is really, let me read because there's some words. O you who believe, shun. It's a very strong word. Shun it. Stop it. Some suspicion is a crime, and spy not, neither backbite one another. Would one of you love to eat the flesh of his dead brother? You see, you abhor that. You will be like, can't even think of that. How do you backbite that? Do you backbite? If we do, we indulge in that sin. It is as if, imagine, close your eyes and think, oh my goodness, I am worse than an animal. In animals also, there are darjat. There are animals who will never eat dead meat. Lion, being the, king of the animals, in the animal kingdom, he will always hunt his prey and then kill and eat. But vultures will eat the leftovers. So think what we are studying here in Quran. Khuda Ta'ala is saying that when somebody is backbiting, it is as if they're eating the flesh of his dead brother. Dead brother. So it's like being vultures. Even looking at vultures, it disgusts us. How can, that be a meal? When we backbite, that is what we are indulging in. So we have to be very, very careful. Very, very careful. How do we talk? Because there are times, we discussed last time that how are we going to talk. So there are ways and means to protect yourself and be in Farman Bardari. Because it is all about why are we discussing this? To become Farman Bardar. So we benefit from our zikr and ibadat. Otherwise, we are working very hard, but there is a hole in our, saving account or in our pocket, whatever you want to use the other word. And it's constantly being, taken away. So there is no saving at all. So let us stop here, and inshallah, we will continue next week.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. Once again, a very wonderful session. As usual, Maulana Sultan Muhammad Shah's Farmans are so powerful and makes us really think of things that we have never even thought about. Yeah, and you linking it back to the Quranic ayats, that was wonderful. So at least it gives us a different avenue for thinking as such and for our contemplation. I found it very useful. I don't know what other friends, what the views of other friends are. Friends, if you have any questions or comments, please come forward. Any reflections?
And we discussed about very many concepts. It's just not one. And it's difficult that we go into one concept because we're just reading the Farman. It is very important that we attend other classes and understand these concepts in great detail, or ask for lectures. So we do have classes on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Tuesdays. Even those who attend Gujrati classes, we have discussed these things in great detail.
Can you just remind me what ayat it was? Surah 53, ayat
32.
32. Okay, thank you. Just, okay.
आई नो बहुत सारा सोचने के लिए दे दिया है, लेकिन बताएं कि क्या सोच रहे हैं, क्या फील हो रहा है.
I personally found the part of the Farman where Maulana Sultan talks about taking your soul out, and then you would be able to see around you. That was quite fascinating, yeah, because how clear he was in trying to explain to us that.
I agree, absolutely, because Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah has told us everything. It is just that we have never read Farman the way we should have been reading to understand it. And of course, it is because we have not read the Quran. So Imam has guided us about very elevated, higher concepts. We have to be able to, have that knowledge to understand this beautiful, powerful, amazing Farman. I'm telling you that it is mesmerizing, bewildering sometimes that, you read this Farman, and every time you read, you are learning something new. You're learning something new. So I can never claim that, oh, I've read Kalam-i Imam-i Mubin and I've understood it, because it continues to, unfold the concepts which are hidden, the jewels, gems which are hidden in these Faramins. It is amazing.
Okay. Friends, any other comments, reflections, questions before we close the session?
Yes, if I may add my perceptions on this one. So I found that we live our lives as the parts that you mentioned, that we live, you eat, you get married, you have children, you send them to school and get them married and live your life. So it's very eye-opening for people to understand that we think we're doing it all okay because we're living the life blindly, and we're still doing okay. But here we are understanding that there is this other concept that we forgot, that we've never even considered, that we need to get out and learn more about our religion, our faith, and the understanding of the concept of taking our soul out. That was absolutely you know, when we are going through the blind faith process, we don't understand that. But the importance of it is so much, because you can see when you go through that process of learning in itself, you think like, wow, I've not even scratched the surface of it. So that's really eye-opening. And then we've got so much to do yet. And the more we do, the more we find out what we need to do more and more. So that was really, really eye-opening. Thank you.
We have a comment from Salma Saiba, basically saying, sad that these Farmans have been removed from Jamaat Khana. Shukar, you are all explaining this to us. Anar Saiba is asking, is Kalam-i Imam-i Mubin available to us in English?
So there are translation in English, but because they are not done officially properly, so there are mistakes, and it's not they are very literal translation. And sometimes, when we don't have good understanding of the Farameens, and you just translate the word as is, or you try to polish it. Translation is a skill. So we have not one but two translations, but I would say they are very poor. And that's why I don't like to share it, because in today's time, everybody's reading, and when you read it, it is as if you're reading Farman. As a humble, friend of yours, I would say, I don't like that. I would rather you read the transliteration. And that's why, Kareem had, requested to continue these sessions to actually discuss this Farman's reading Gujrati transliteration, because in translations there are errors. There is no official translation as per se.
Also, can I just add that when you read the translation, it just appears that you're reading a Farman. There is no real explanation to the various concepts that you're covering. So it really becomes, there isn't a great deal of benefit of just reading directly a translation. And I've actually tried it, and yes, we lose the concepts that Maulana Sultan Shah is actually telling us about.
Hamidama is trying to say something.
Yes,
Yes.
so Salma Saiba, oh, sorry, Mafi, go on.
Niamat,
Ji.
my Gujarati is very good, very, very good. And whenever I read these Farmans, I feel I know so much and I understand it. But the way you explain it, I wish you could go on and on and on. Thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoy these sessions.
Shukran.
So I just wanted to tell you that keep it up and Mola help you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you. Thank you for encouraging me. Yes, it becomes my motivation to do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Salma, I see your comment here. Karim, I see Salma's comment that we want to listen continuously, but I have not even heard your voice, Salma. So you need to talk to me so I know who am I talking to. And everybody has limitations. I'm very, weak and feeble human, but I'm very happy. I'm truly grateful that you are here and you comment, but I would love to hear you talk to me as well. And inshallah, with Maula's mercy, we'll continue.
Thank you, Niamat Saiba, once again for a wonderful session and a very enlightening session today as well. Thank you, friends, for joining, and inshallah, we'll continue with the Farman next week. Ya Ali Madad, everyone.
Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali Madad.
Mola Ali Madad.
Yeah.
Ali Madad,
Yeah,
Ali
Ali
Madad.
Madad.
And thank you so much.
Shukran, Maula. Ya Ali Madad.
Yeah.
Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali Madad, Minama, Ya Ali Madad.
Bless you.
Ya Ali Madad.